New throwback pickups and NAMM news.
Coming up.
Okay, Matthew, we've got another video coming up here. We said new pickups from Throwback.
Right.
And those new pickups include two Telecaster-style models, really a Broadcaster and a No-Caster model. You have our new Broadcaster A3 Classic pickup in the bridge of this guitar, and this guitar has our No-Caster A3 Classic set.
Right.
We'll talk about that. Matthew's got a list of topics to cover, so he'll keep us on track with this. We'll show the website where you can find the new Throwback Telecaster style pickups, and talk a little bit about NAMM. So we did go to NAMM, Matthew, and
first time in how many years?
Well, we went. The last time we went was right before COVID hit. So what was that?
It was January 2020.
2020. Yep, and we were going kind of wondering if it was going to be a resurrected experience as far as kind of the level of traffic and people showing as it was prior to COVID, or it was going to be a disappointment. And what was your impression?
I think it's almost back to where it was. It was very busy, but there were some major players who did not have public booths.
That's right. We did get a little disappointed that it was a little bit of a bait and switch with the Fender Gibson appearance. We found out, well, everybody found out a little bit beforehand that they weren't actually going to be showing to the public. So anyway, but beyond that, we saw some people. We saw. It's always nice to meet with dealers and guitar makers, and you get to see other pickup makers. We saw Wolf McLeod, our friend Wolf, and met Curtis Novak for the first time. He's a very nice guy. And when we met them at, there was sort of an off-site NAMM show, and Zach Royals from Mythos was there.
It was not in any way affiliated with NAMM.
Yes, you could not officially say it was affiliated with NAMM.
It was in Anaheim. It was called the Woodwire Volts.
Yeah, and
Small Builder Showcase.
Yeah, we saw Barry from Grez Guitars, who uses our pickups periodically. Yep. And we saw Dylan of Dylan Talks Tone, another pickup maker.
Yep.
That was at that. And I said Chris Novak, and Jason Lawler was showing in the sort of main venue.
His first time.
And said hi to him. And said hi to people at Collings. Met with our distributor in Japan, Masa. And anyway, so we'll go over all that real quick. We've already done it a bit. So what's next on the agenda, Matthew?
The next we're going to talk about is we're going to show the changes to the Throwback website now.
Okay.
And talk about our investment in Alnico magnets.
All right. So Matthew has reminded us we're going to show the changes of the Throwback website. So let's give this a shot. I will try to, live in time here, call up the Throwback website here. So we will go to... if I can do this correctly.
I'll just tell maybe the folks listening that...
Here we go.
There we go.
So we're at the Throwback website here, and you scroll down to Telecaster pickups. And we have, these are two new additions here, the Broadcaster A3 Classic and the No-Caster A3 Classic. For the purposes of this demonstration, we'll click this, the No-Caster A3 Classic, because these pickups are not only here being... played by our friend Tyler Powers in this little clip, but these are going to also be, are also offered in the new Collings 71 model T-style guitar.
Right, as an upgrade. You can order Throwback pickups. This model of Throwback pickups as a custom upgrade.
Yep, and we saw them at NAMM, and they had a beautiful guitar on the wall with those pickups, so we'll take a look at that in a minute. But here, let's take a look at Tyler Powers. But specs for this are 7.6K bridge, 7.2K neck, A3 rod magnets, and these again are USA made Fullerton 15X Alnico. And the reason we call this out is these are USA formulated and cast Alnico magnets, like all of our magnets, and they cost 15 times what the overseas equivalent magnet is, and we say equivalent loosely. They do sound different in pickups. In fact, I A/B'd these against some overseas ones, and was reminded what the price difference is, and felt it needed to be called out. But let's listen to Tyler here. Tyler's been by the place. He's a touring national musician, and he uses throwback stuff. So let's take a look here. I think we've got to start this at 6, and we'll see Tyler doing a, should we say epic solo?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it is. It's so
Yeah,
very good solo.
let's play it here.
Working, you won't hear me complain. And every day I'll tip my hat to the rock that says
That's not
my
Tyler.
name.
That's where it's going. That's Barney.
Born in Alabama, June 1950.
Okay.
Early days on top.
That was Tyler
Tyler.
with his custom shop Fender Telecaster with the throwback Nocaster A3 Classic set in it. These are available, and our Broadcaster A3 Classic set available, aged and unaged, and third wire option for the neck pickup if you need that. So
I know one question that someone might phone and ask you. They'll say, well, what is the difference between the Broadcaster and the Nocaster?
let me get rid of my screen here. Okay, there we are. Okay, so the difference between the Broadcaster and the Nocaster. The Broadcaster, well, as far as, obviously there's timeline difference in the history of the Telecaster.
Sure.
Started as a Broadcaster. Most people know this, but started as a Broadcaster. Cease and desist letter from, was it Gretsch? And there's a period of time there where they clipped the Broadcaster name off of the decal for the headstock, and it says Nocaster. Or, well, it says no name, and these became known as Nocaster pickups before they came up with the Telecaster name. In the timeline, though, for Telecaster style pickups, the Broadcaster has a bridge pickup that's along the lines more similar to a lap steel pickup, or because it uses 43 gauge wire and A3 magnets. There's a little transition period that occurs during the Nocaster area where that 43 gauge wound pickup, which that wire makes it sound a bit fatter, and I would actually describe it as a little broader sound rather than a more focused sound that you would get with a 42 gauge Telecaster pickup. That wire switch to 42 gauge happens around in the Nocaster era.
Okay.
So the resistance goes from 9K range for a Broadcaster pickup with the 43 gauge wire, with about the same number of turns for a Nocaster, but with 42 gauge wire, which lands it in the 7.6 hotter sort of 42 gauge pickup range. And you get a kind of a wider, fatter sound with the Broadcaster pickup, and you get still a pretty fat sound with the Nocaster, but a little more focused because of that change to 42 gauge wire.
Gotcha.
So that's the quick. Well, that's the quick-ish
The quick answer.
response.
But there's more details on the website.
Yeah, there's
so-
more details on the
and
website
sound
about that. And
samples.
we'll do more about this, I'm sure, in other videos. Do we have something next on the agenda there, Matthew?
We wanted to just talk briefly about your investment in the magnets.
Oh, we did. Yes.
You had
So
talked about that.
the reason I again about the magnets, these are custom made for us in the U.S. With custom cast and ground in the U.S. And that difference in a pickup like this amounts to an inductance difference, and roughly translated, that's an EQ difference between this and an overseas made magnet. And it represents a $30,000 investment just to have these made for us. So you're getting something unique with both of these models that we're happy to offer. You know, but and again with all of our pickups that we go to these links in order to make sure the USA the magnets are cast and formulated in the U.S. rather than overseas formulas that either
tend to-
shipped here
yeah. But
or some. There's I know one place that recasts overseas made material, and it's really not the same stuff as custom made vintage formulation.
But you found that the American stuff is just more consistent.
More
batch to
consistent,
batch.
more consistent, pretty consistently charges lower than overseas.
Right.
And I've been told by two people that the overseas magnets they use iron as a filler material, and this difference accounts for part of the charging difference, and also the inductance difference for equivalent magnets. So, anyway, that is part of what you're getting when you get a throwback pickup. Is this more unique USA made magnet?
Okay, so the next area is a recap of NAMM 2025 in January in Anaheim. So
Okay.
we mentioned earlier that this was the first time we were back since 2020, and NAMM is kind of like, I think this is also actually the first time they've gone back to being in January
Yeah.
since COVID, and they were in the summer, and then they were in the spring, and
Yeah.
they've worked their way back into the January time slot.
Well, yeah, we went there, and kind of some of the interesting things were that we had that break, and I think when we went last time, we would get stopped. We did a few videos at that point,
Yep.
and we would get stopped by people, and they'd say, "Hey, I love the videos," and that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So while we were there, the first booth that when we walked in was the
It was the Vox.
the Vox booth.
Yeah.
And we started looking at some AC30. They had some hand-wired AC30s, or AC15.
I guess they were replica AC30
Yeah, and the
made
guy,
overseas, but they were nice looking amplifiers.
yeah, and the product manager came up and started talking to us, and you asked some questions about the amps.
Yeah, and then he was talking to us, and then he said, "Oh, the reason why I came over is I recognized, the name," and he said he had throwback pickups.
Yeah, he
his
loved
guitar.
loved his throwback pickups. So that was kind of cool right
that
off the bat.
That was the first stop, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
First day, first encounter with somebody who was a satisfied customer. So that
Yes.
was kind of nice.
Yeah, so like over the period of time walking around there, we had at least 10 people. We kind of lost count at 10 people that when we
Yeah, because we got on the show floor on the Thursday morning at 10. We had a meeting with our Japanese distributor at 11, and we had to go across to the hotel. So we were probably on the show floor for about 50 minutes, and we must have had, you did kind of lose count, maybe 7 to 10 kind of encounters with people just sort of
yeah.
stopping us. So
Yeah, stop to say they love the videos, and
one of them
kinda
was
cool.
we ran into Jeff Mackerlane.
Yep, we saw Jeff Mackerlane.
That was one of the, and then he had a couple of buddies that that were fans as well.
Yeah, we had a guy who was a professional touring roadie tech
Yeah.
who like ran up and stopped and said, "Love the videos, especially the instructional ones."
Yeah.
And I thought that was great because he's the guy that needs to fix stuff in a pinch.
Yeah.
So
he's
that was great.
Found them helpful.
Yeah. Okay, so we got all of that, and we made our way to the Collings booth, and we've got video of that.
Yeah. So
And let's play that.
yeah.
And that video is it shows some guitars, some new guitars that Collings has on offer, and as well as guitars that have throwback pickups in it. So, in fact, one of these guitars I've ordered.
Well, let's see that one.
Okay, we'll play that right now. Okay, this is the Collings booth here, Matthew.
Yep. This is Collings at Hall E.
It says right there.
Yes. This is downstairs in Hall E, beneath the main trade show floor in Anaheim.
Now you can see the tops of some of their new guitars.
Yeah.
I think some of these are these all no longer prototypes. I know the Model 71 is the green one there. I think this is considered Watson green.
Yep, that's true. That's the name of the color.
And is this a standard offering now? This other one to the right? I think we're kind of maybe in the dark about that, but
I'm not sure about that. What that is that a 620 or
no,
is it,
no, that's we're not selling. We're not good enough colleagues, salespeople yet. But that is the Model 71, and that guitar is what are they calling this? They're calling it Sonic Blue.
That color is called Sonic Blue. It's going to be offered in 6 colors.
Okay,
And
that guitar right there has throwback Nocaster pickups on it.
yeah, that was the one that they brought to the show with our.
And that is the one I played, and the sound police stopped me.
Yes.
And I was not playing very loud.
No, the sound police were out in force, and
Yeah.
they kept on. They came by at least twice when we were in the booth, and people were not playing loud.
Yeah.
But
And it sounds really good. It's really comfortable, really light.
yeah,
Has a set neck, rosewood fingerboard. I think they only come with rosewood fingerboards. And let's play a little more here. Hold on here, Matthew. I think I need to turn down my volume.
we can grab my notes.
We can talk over that. Okay, you've got Matthew. You've surfaced your notes here.
Actually, yeah. Going back to that 71, that blue 71 in the background there. Maybe pause it there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so this is a 25.5-inch scale T-style guitar with a. Too bad we don't have maybe a picture of the back of it, but the joint on the back is very precise. You can see it if you see it online. It's a pretty well-made guitar.
pretty well made for Collings. It's incredibly precisely well made.
Yeah, that's what they do.
That is
it is a
that is
Collins.
their thing. Yeah, it's very cool. Okay, let's play that. Again, these all come with rosewood fingerboards.
Well, maybe stop it here, and you can tell a little bit about the those pick guards.
Oh yeah, yeah. So the pickguard this is what are they calling this guitar with the mixed
This is
Jazzmaster and some sort of
Okay, this was
bars.
the 71M.
Yeah, they make 2 variations of this. They're sort of a traditional T-style and this other version with the tremolo. But this guitar, the black one, has their poured pickguard. So this is a custom tortoise shell pickguard that Collings pours. I think they mix kind of a brown and amber epoxy together and stir it around till it has the tortoise shell pattern. And it's custom made for these, and it's really a cool look. has great sort of depth to it.
Yeah.
And I have ordered a Model 71, the traditional Telecaster style, in black with one of those pickguards.
So that would maybe a little sneak preview of coming video. When that shows
and
up.
with Nocaster A3 Classic pickups, and you can order. I believe that you can have your choice of throwback pickups as an upgrade for these guitars. But for the purposes of this show, we gave them a Nocaster A3 Classic set, which is what I ordered.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now this is an I-30, we believe. Although the Bigsby's making us question whether it might have a center block, but with Nocaster, well, not Nocaster, with throwback dog ear P90 pickups in it for the show. And we sell quite a bit of them to Collings for those guitars. A lot of dog ear pickups going to Collings for those. This is the model 630?
620.
620. That's right. They have a 360, which is a solid body. This is new though, right?
I believe this is a new guitar.
And this is a real cool guitar. It has single cutaway body, semi hollow. This guitar has throwback SLE 101 pickups in it for the show, and it's got no binding on the neck, but it didn't look just a little bit smaller than an I-35 or I-35, ever so slightly.
Yeah.
I think the body is solid mahogany. It's semi-hollow, but it's carved out of a single piece of mahogany. And I believe the top is solid as well. It's a solid maple top. Really nice guitar. Really, really cool look. Also, just a little, what would you say? A little more Spartan appointments, as far as no binding on the neck or headstock, but really sort of classy look. And this young man here, fine guitar player, is playing a Collings I-35 LC Vintage with throwback ESG 102B pickups, which is the model that comes exclusively and standard for this guitar. And a lot of guitars out there with these with their pickups in them for this model. And that was the Collings experience at NAMM.
Collings, yeah. It was nice to see the guys at Collings.
Yeah, nice to talk to all of them. And kind of we went from seeing Masa to going here, correct?
That's correct.
And the interesting experience of that was that when we saw Masa is our distributor for throwback pickups in Japan. And Masa is also the repairman for Norman's rare guitars. And Masa himself has a long experience with vintage guitars. I think once upon a time he used to deal them also. And it's always nice to hear from him, but he specifically mentioned two things to us that I hadn't really registered till he mentioned it. One was, he said, throwback pickups are special. We've never had a single one that that either arrived defective or was sent back from a customer defective. And he said, and that's very unusual. We don't have anyone else, and this is for his company, Sonic. We're a distributor in Japan, is Zenbu. So as a distributor, he said he's never had any other manufacturer of pickups that has never had one that's been sent back as defective, and he wanted to know why that was. And I had never thought about it. Do you have an opinion on this?
Well, I think it's because we're a small shop, and the pickups go through 2 to 3 sets of hands.
Yeah, and by small shop, it's me, you, Paul, who is the unsung hero of throwback, yes, who is probably often winding pickups right now over there, and then Todd. So it's 4 people.
Yeah,
and
but in terms of quality control, there's a certain amount of time that is taken making this stuff, and stuff is caught if there's a problem.
Yeah, and it's not like you have one guy whose job all day is like soldering one wire to like pigtail wires. We're all Paul and I know the process top to bottom, and you don't wind the pickups, but as far as assembly goes, you do all that, and are familiar with it because of the guitar. So it's like there's multiple skills that each one of us have that would catch anything before it had a chance to be sent out. Anyway, that was kind of revealing. And then he also,
it's a nice compliment.
Yeah, and also Masa told us that we had the best aged PAF covers of any he had ever seen. And considering he works at Norm's Rare Guitars, and Masa used to deal in them, that was a pretty high compliment too.
Yeah. Oh, he's seen a lot of stuff. So.
Yeah. So we went from there to Collings, and the interesting thing about going to Collings is when we got there, the first thing they said to us was like how consistent our pickups were in terms of quality, and that there weren't any bad surprises from the stuff that when they got them, that we very consistent specs and quality. So back to back, that was pretty high praise from both of those places.
That was worth the trip right there.
That actually kind of was worth the trip. And then the other part of talking to people and finding people that were, just coming up to us to say hi. Part of having a company like this is you kind of, you're selling things and then people like them. But over time, it was revealed that, we kind of built a brand. There's a brand associated with it that people recognize from, I guess, seeing the logo and maybe seeing us from all of our famous videos.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
But that was gratifying too.
Yeah, that was nice.
All in all, a good experience at NAMM. You're going over the list there. Have we covered it all?
I think
Is
we've
it time
covered.
for us to play.
I think
a
people
guitar?
want to hear your pickups. I think we've covered just about everything on the list. So maybe they can hear these.
Okay. We'll set up for that. Okay, Matthew, that's it. Mm-hmm. It's another video. We plan to do more.
We will do more.
We will do more.
We're on a
we have
schedule.
streamlined the setup here, and we're learning how to use it. But the again, to reiterate, the pickups, the new Telecaster offerings are the Broadcaster A3 Classic, which is in the bridge of this guitar. This pickup is a new humbucker that we're going to offer this for a future video, but it's a new humbucker we're going to have in a humbucker single coil set that we'll offer, but not available quite yet. And then so there's this guitar with the the Broadcaster A3 Classic, and then the other one here has the Nocaster A3 Classic, and those are on offer now at the Throwback website. Again, they have our 15X USA made formulated in cast Alnico 3 magnets, and all of our Telecaster Strat humbuckers have USA made magnets. And there's someone calling right now.
Those
if you can hear that, orders are already coming in. Paul, our faithful, our perpetual employee of the month, will answer that. Once again, thanks for watching. Click like. Mm-hmm. We always appreciate that. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and ring the bell, click the bell for notifications of future videos. And once again, thanks for letting Throwback be part of your search for great guitar tone.